day 3. Day 3 was my favourite day. It was such a good day. Hello. 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 Myself, my mum, my puppy Arthur. Well, he's not so much a puppy anymore, he's 1 now. And our best friend Michelle. We are walking Hadrian's Wall east to west. We're all runners. Michelle regularly runs marathons. And obviously I'm a runner, as you'll know. Mum runs. You did a marathon recently, didn't you? Yeah. You did something recently. We're all, you know, used to being on our feet, but what is different is these rucksacks. We don't carry anything like this when we're running. But are we all enjoying it? I think yes. Oh, Arthur, are you? Oh yeah, we don't need to use the ladder here. What's wrong with the ladder, Arthur? You're going to show us how to do it? Oh! Shit round. I got that on film. Oh, these ones you've done, Arthur, and the one I get on film, you fall off. Arthur, what have you got? It's day 3. Yesterday was a bit of a write-off for filming because it was so wet. But we walked 17 miles from the first campsite in Wylam to where we've just left in Warwick. Warwick? How do you say it? Warwick. 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 We've just seen quite a good bit of Hadrian's Wall back there, and yeah, we're ploughing on through to near Holtwhistle, I think, today. We'll see Sycamore Gap, which is really exciting, and we'll surpass the halfway mark, so it's quite a significant day, I think, today. It's really pretty up here. Hopefully you can hear what I'm saying. It's a little bit windier now, so I'm going to sign off, but we had a short day that day. It was 13 miles. That was from the second campsite to the third campsite at Winshield's campsite. Now we had crossed into Northumberland, and Northumberland was just beautiful. It really started getting super pretty here. This campsite was £10 per person, and Arthur was free. Malcolm, the guy who runs it, was awesome. He was like such a legend. Absolutely loved Malcolm. It was such a quiet spot as well. We picked a really nice part at the bottom of the field, and where we could see Sycamore Gap from the opening of our tents, which was just magical. This day we hit halfway and it started to get extremely hilly, and it was the kind of Hadrian's Wall that you see on the leaflets and on TV. It was the true Hadrian's Wall that we were now seeing. There was so much of the Roman wall still intact at this point. We dried out from the day before, as this day it got so hot. It was really warm this day. We saw Sycamore Gap, and then just after that we hit the highest point on the wall. We collected our 3rd stamp at the heritage site, but the downside was we refueled with water and some food at this place, but the lady didn't allow us to leave any of our rubbish there. She told us we had to take everything we had, and we could see bins. We were like, can we not just put them? But she wasn't allowing anything, so, and she was quite rude to us as well, so that was a little bit of a downside. So yeah, we had to carry our rubbish. Not that we had loads of it, but there was just, you know, accumulated things. We supported their little shop as well for the national trails, and she didn't really seem to care about that, so we were like, you know what, let's just carry on. And then we saw Sycamore Gap, and all was great. It was just wonderful. It was so good. Day 4, so this was walking to the 4th campsite of the trip. Yes, it is. You can feel it. What's over there, Arthur?
Oh, people coming.
Arthur, wee! beauty of climbing Hadrian's Wall. There is a lot of climbing for miles and miles, all up and down like this. Hey Arthur! Hello! Hello.
Not too bad. How are you feeling, Michelle? Oh.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, considering.
No, I'm lying.
Me
feel
too!
dreadful.
I'm dying!
I'm not lying. I'm not. A camera never lies.
Yeah! It's true.
Meanwhile, Arthur's like, why aren't we there yet? That day was a 13-mile walk again, although to be honest, I think it turned out to be roughly about 15. It was a little bit longer, and that was to Banks. We'd now left Northumberland and we were walking into Cumbria, so it was still very, very hilly and very undulating. This campsite was called Camping at Banks. It was just £5 per person and Arthur was free. It was basically just around the back of these lovely couple's house. It had everything you needed. It had running water and it had a little toilet. The people that ran it were so friendly, and we also made friends with some uni lads who were camping further down in the field. These lads had completely run out of food, like completely. They had nothing left. We barely had anything left as well. I decided to treat us to whatever I could find locally. I googled a local chip shop and rang them up to see if they could deliver, and thankfully they could. We bought the lads some chips because that's all they'd requested. The lovely lady as well on the phone said we could have 2 huge sausages for Arthur, so Arthur was living it up that night. Me and Michelle were still waiting outside the campsite for the delivery people to come, and a lovely kind Sainsbury's delivery man who was delivering to the house of the campsite people, he gave me and Michelle a big pack of Twixes, so we were living the high life that night. Honestly, it was brilliant, especially having not eaten much that whole day. So we halved that with the lads as well, so they wouldn't starve to death, and I think everyone was happy that night. Like I said, the terrain really was a lot hillier that day, and our constant aim every single mile was just finding somewhere for Arthur to drink from, somewhere for Arthur to swim in, because we can regulate our temperatures a little bit better. We don't have fur all over us, and we could tell each other if we were feeling a bit funny or if we needed water, but Arthur couldn't really communicate to us in the same way, so it was just our constant aim to try and find him somewhere to swim in or somewhere to drink from.
Action shot. Not all about the bloody Arthur.
Get a good zoom in on you.
Oh, please don't, not zoom in. Let me get to the top bit.
It's a wild Michelle descending. Oh, I've lost you.
Yeah.
Got you.
You've only been waiting 3/4 of an hour. Hello, big boy. Hello, superstar. Oh.
Oh, that really showed the reality of
Pain.
and Arthur's fine.
Yeah.
So on to day 5. This day was the longest day of walking yet. It was 22 miles of walking. To be honest, in my mind that doesn't feel very long because I do so many long distances, but it definitely felt very long in the heat. It was just the heat that was completely draining us. So we walked 22 miles from Banks to Bolstead Hill, which was through Carlisle, and on the final stretch then to Bowness on Solway. That last campsite was called Highfield Farm Camping. It was £10 per person and Arthur was free. We were mostly on the hunt for paracetamol that day. We did manage to get some from a really kind couple when we stopped at an honesty hut. It only lasted the morning and then she needed some more, so I remember just constantly kind of looking out for paracetamol for Michelle. These honesty huts as well, you'll find loads of them on this stretch of the trail. We didn't find many on the other bit. Some people had like literally done these massive garden sheds in their front gardens. Arthur really struggled at the end of this day, even for a springer. The heat had just zapped him, and we'd found a lot of places for him to swim because a lot of it just followed the river through Carlisle, so he could swim in many places, but still the heat was just zapping. It just zapped all his energy. At the end of this day he was really struggling and we were all really struggling. I think mentally we'd just been a bit done in from the weather. We were all still really loving the walking, but I think when you walk and you have time to think about things, you get all your emotions out. It's like a natural process, and I think this day it happened for a lot of us. We met so many lovely hikers this day who were also walking the east to west. We kept kind of overtaking them, and then they'd overtake us. It was kind of like this constant thing till the end of the wall, which was really nice. And so that takes us to technically day 6, but we only were walking for a few hours in the morning. It was just half a day. So we had the last 6 miles to walk to Bowness on Solway. I think on the day I've been like, yes, we've got 8 miles, it's only 8 miles. And then it kind of all happened a lot quicker than we realised. And I looked on the map and I was like, oh, it was only 6 miles. So I got it wrong that day. We got our final stamp and we finished the trail. We've walked 84, basically more than 84 miles though, let's be realistic. 84 plus miles from one coast of England to the other coast of England, and it felt so awesome. Hang on. We've just made it to the end of Hadrian's Wall, and wow, it's been hard. And Arthur, you made it! Arthur, you made it! This is the finish, and we're just about to stamp our passports. The last stamp.
Oh, did it again.
Oh.
Down.
There we go. We're at the finish. Oh my god. 87 miles later. Or is it 84? I don't know. Is it 84? One place said 87, one place said 84. I said, I don't know. I don't know at this point. Oh, Arthur! Hello! Which way are you going, mate? This way. Hi! Hi! You nutter. Careful. Absolute nutter. Ah! Oh my god! Careful, it's my camera. So basically upon finishing, we headed straight to the nearest pub, which was at the bus stop because we were getting the bus back. So we headed straight to this pub for some cider and some food. And what did you have, Arthur? Did you have some snacks? You had some snacks, some well-deserved snacks. So yeah, we just sat there waiting for our bus time. That was, I think, about 1 o'clock. And then it was just a very long rest of the day to get home. In terms of getting home, we caught a bus from Bowness at that pub that we were eating at to Carlisle. And then from Carlisle, we took a train back across to Newcastle, which is crazy. It barely takes any time at all on a train. I think it was an hour and a half, when we just spent the last 5.5 days walking that. We then took the metro from the train station back to the nearest metro point to where the car was parked at that Tesco's, and then we just walked. It was like a mile, I think, back to the car at that Tesco's car park. And I remember it didn't take that long to drive home. It was like 6 hours. It wasn't as long as I think I thought it would be, all the way from Newcastle back down to home. Hopefully you found this guide useful. I mean, it's not very technical, and it's more just a way of planning walking Hadrian's Wall if you're ever going to do it, because like I said, watching videos about it and reading blogs really helped me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!